between the New York Giants and the New Orleans Saints. They come out here in the eye. They go play action here on first down. Oh, he's going to take a shot right away. That's caught inside the 20. And all the way in. Touchdown, New York. Their dangerous wide receiver with touchdown number 12 on the year. And the Giants are going to take a first quarter lead. And his kick is no good. An inauspicious start here kicking-wise as this one stays a 6-0 game. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down. The headshots here are the offensive unit, and what about Brandon Cooks?
If he's not a 1,000-yard receiver every year he's healthy in the league, I'll be surprised. Came out of college wanting to be a pro, studied all the best receivers in the NFL before he even got to the league.
And now whistles and a flag, and I think we got a jump here. So you heard the word. This is a neutral zone infraction.
Yeah, the defender wanted to try and get back after he had jumped, unable to do so.
Looking to throw. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down. And we look now at the defense for the Giants.
Janoris Jenkins combines excellent coverage ability with supreme confidence in himself. He thinks that no one is going to catch a pass in his area. Calls himself Clamp City. 3rd and 5, so they bring in an extra defensive back.
Expecting pass. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. And this is going to be incomplete. Kobe Fleener, the tight end, his intended target. Now 4th down.
I'm not sure we could spot any tendency here on this 3rd down. They could have run it or passed it. Either one was available. They chose to try and get it through the air, but they were unsuccessful.
He gets this away. It's a good one. Drawing toward the sidelines. And now where will the side judge stop his walk? That's the question. He says it crossed out of bounds at about the 17-yard line. New York set to take the field. And last time the formula was pretty simple. One play drive, long pass. That maybe they just want to do that again, right?
And that's exactly how you want to draw things up. Whether it's on your grease board, right, in your playbook, one play drive is exactly what you want on offense. What they have to be careful of is not having a letdown. It was fairly easy last time. They can't expect that going forward.
And we'll see if it's that easy here. And after the play on the ground, that brings up second down here. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. They'll lose a yard, and it brings up 3rd.
Well, that's the big drawback to this play. Even if somehow the quarterback pitches it, he's not immune to the big hit. In this case, he kept it and absorbed it anyway.
On 3rd and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air. And able to find Conley. And they're going to get this one all the way out across the 45. A good pickup there at 22.
It's a nice completion, a little bit of run after catch as well to create the yardage that they got. But it is so tough to cover that route, the drag route, because they run it at varying speeds. Because the key is to create hesitancy on the defender's part.
Always so empathetic for those DBs, aren't you? And he will find his man on the outside. And taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40.
What I love about watching the passing game nowadays is that the one-dimensional receiver is really starting to leave the game. You've got to be able to do it all. Of course, you got to run fast. Of course, you got to catch the ball. But route running savvy and toughness, there's a premium for all of that now.
A first down carry here for Johnson. And some room to maneuver. The 20. Touchdown, Giants. David Johnson with touchdown number 20 on the year, and the Giants add on to their lead. And on that long run, maybe the defense caught napping a little bit.
The concentration level may not have been there. I agree with you on that one, because those types of plays, when they result like that, they're almost like big bolts of lightning, aren't they? Whoosh, and off he goes.
Set to return. This is Brandon Cooks. Brandon Cooks, touchdown, New Orleans. Brandon Cooks, 105 yards, and the Saints have cut it back within a score.
Well, he made the right choice by result, but a little bit surprising because now the touchback's coming back to the 25 instead of the 20. When guys field it that deep in the end zone, I think most coaches want them to take a knee.
Yeah, it's resulted in more kneel downs. Not right there. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. New York set to take the field. And that recipe on their last drive that resulted in a touchdown looked pretty good, so they'll be hoping to do that once more.
And it takes me back to when we sat with the offensive coordinator and the head coach. They felt pretty good about their game plan and thought there were some holes in the defense, and they exploited them the last time out. Let's see if they can come back and put together a similar drive.
And we'll see if they can do just that. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8. And this offensive unit should have a lot of juice coming off the big output that they had 1 week ago.
Not like confidence, is there? When you played well the week before, you can't wait to get back on the field and do it again.
Possible run anticipation. Here's the D-line sandwiches together. Screen play, Johnson. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. He lost 4 there, and it's 3rd down.
Time to give a little credit here. That was an excellent read by the guys on the defensive side of the ball.
Oh, you're crediting your defense.
Got to credit them on that one because they tried to fool them, right? Tried to trick them. Ran a screen, and they went to it and smothered it for a loss of yardage.
Hard throw, incomplete. Chris Conley, the intended receiver, and it's 4th down. Now here's a local boy from LSU. He was a Tiger. Brad Wing on to punt it away. Back deep, a Louisiana native, Jarvis Landry. Yeah, this is away, and I don't think Landry will get a chance to return here. And no return possible here as they angle this one out of bounds. The Saints coming out now to take the field. And the last drive, their first drive, 3 and out. What changes here, if anything?
I think it's making sure the guys that you trust the most with the ball, the biggest playmakers you have, that they touch it on this possession to try and get things moving.
So get it to the horses.
Without a doubt. They're the ones that typically end up in the end zone.
They'll come out throwing here on first down. Looking for his tight end Fleeter, and it's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And they'll start with great field position at the 41-yard line.
Naturally, we're going to say it was a poor pass, but the defensive guys say it was just a great play by them. They broke on the football, picked it off, and gave some momentum to their team.
They'll try and start this drive in the air. Hits his target, the tight end, Will Tye. A nice pickup there of 11 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
Partner, it's a lot of fun watching the NFL now, isn't it? Because when the big fella runs routes, it used to be when we were kids, he'd run about 3 different routes, and that was it. Now he can run anything and catch the balls we just saw there.
Johnson running right, and he'll lose yardage. Brought down at the 32. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up second down.
And frankly, Brandon, we're talking about things I'm not sure we ever thought we'd talk about in the NFL, and a lot of that is the speed at the linebacker position. A lot of these guys in college, they were safeties. They moved them up to outside linebacker to combat the spread offenses, and now we're seeing it in the NFL. Those same guys using their speed to make plays in the backfield, similar to that one.
And here now, New Orleans defensive unit.
Stephon Anthony acclimated quite quickly to the NFL. As soon as he joined the team, he became their leading tackler.
Incomplete pass on second down. Let's see what the offense draws up here on third. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. He's got time. Under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 38. So the Giants now are going to turn it over to their field goal unit. This officially a 55-yard attempt. And this kick is not going to be close. It's well short, well right to boot. And this score will stay right where it is.
Everything looked good. Good snap, good hold. Sometimes, though, the ball just doesn't want to go where you want it. And this one winds up no good.
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. Escaping the pressure right. And his throw's going to be incomplete. So how about that one, Charles? We haven't seen that in a while. The illegal forward pass.
The quarterbacks get so much leeway on this play that you're right, Brandon. It is very rare that we see the call come out for a legal forward pass.
And a long way to go for the offense here on second down. They'll come out in the pistol. Again, we'll see the pistol here. After the penalty, it's Ingram. And he's going to get hit at the line of scrimmage and driven backwards. Just a yard on the gain there, and that leaves them with 14 yards still to go on third down.
The best defensive linemen, they play with great leverage so they can get low and not get bowled over by offensive linemen. They have excellent hands. They can throw people off on a play. We just saw a great example of a really good run stop by a guy playing the defensive tackle position.
Out of the gun now on third down. Finding time. A battle for it, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Prince Amukamara. And they are going to set up shop at the 40-yard line. And New York set to take the field. Last time out, they had that long 50-plus yard field goal that they missed.
And I'm sure on their sideline they're thinking to themselves, okay, do we still want to try one if we're in that position again? And I would dare say that the answer would be yes. They're going to have a lot of confidence in their kicker. But just to be on the safe side, I'm sure they told their offensive guys, can we get a little bit closer this time?
Get a little closer.
Yeah, well, you know, I'd rather get in the end zone first and foremost. But if all else fails, less of a field goal attempt for him.
Fresh set of downs here. They'll run it now out of the gun. And down to the 44, 5 yards that time.
And that's exactly what you want on a first down run. Pick up 5 yards, bring up 2nd and 5. The defense, they've got to figure out a way to out-leverage the guys up front because the offensive line is winning at the point of attack.
On second down, Johnson looking for a crease, can't find one. Stopped at the line of scrimmage. They'll say no gain on the play there, and now it'll be third down. So nothing there, but maybe you blame that on the blocking.
Yeah, at some point you've got to win at the point of attack, and on that play, that was all the defense. They made it happen.
Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. Wide open receiver, complete. He got 18 yards out of that one, and it gets him a new set of downs.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. The slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
And a quick throw here, that's complete. And they do get him down, but he's inside the 5 all the way to the 3. So in the second quarter, he's already up over 100 yards receiving now.
And isn't 100 the magic number for a really good game for a receiver? So you got a chance to really shatter that and have a profound effect on this game.
They'll run it with Johnson. And he's maybe going to get this back to the 4, but that's about all. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
So often you hear defensive coaches talk about we need all 11 on every play in order to be a good run-stopping unit. And sometimes it starts to sound a little cliche. But did you see the free safety on that play? Knifing through and running down the ball carrier. A huge, huge play.
And he fires one that's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And he'll bring it all the way back just a yard or two shy of midfield. Now the Saints offense, they get ready to go back to work here. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here. Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. It's caught left side by Cooks. No gain on the play there. It'll be second down.
Pass complete. But no gain.
No yards.
Yeah.
So you file that as unsuccessful.
Yeah, you do, don't you? Except on the stats, throwing the ball.
Get a completion.
You get a catch.
Yeah.
But still,
no
yardage. Okay.
All right, here we go. Blue 90.
On second down, Ingram. And running room scarce here. He's going to be stopped in his tracks at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play, and it'll bring up a third down. Well, a well-executed blitz, no doubt. Great job by the linebacker. Maybe the quarterback, if he could have seen that, could have audibled there.
Yeah, he needed to be in a different play because that one just meshed perfectly for the defense. All the gaps were filled except for the one the offense really wanted to run through, and that was filled by a big man wanting to make a tackle.
And he made a great tackle. On third down, he'll drop to throw. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
Normally, he's pretty reliable. Usually catches what's thrown to him. On that play, he simply dropped it.
And he gets it away, a directional kick going toward the sideline. And they'll play keep away from the returner as this one will be marked out of bounds at the 13-yard line. Pretty good spot. New York set to take the field. And they had a nice little drive going last time. Through the interception in the red zone. Costly.
Bad enough to throw it anywhere, but that drives coaches insane when they're thinking about, hey, we've got a shot at points already. We're already in a spot where you're thinking you've got 3 on the board for sure, and to come away with nothing, that's a really tough one for them to swallow.
Yeah. Will they make up for it? See if they stay on the ground for second down. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
It's a tried-and-true formula, and I don't think it'll change for as long as we play football. If someone's trying to throw the ball and you can put pressure on them and make it tough, that's only going to help your defense.
Yeah, he sensed being hurried. He got rid of it before taking. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. A well-designed corner blitz that gets him for a loss of 8 yards.
You know, on these types of plays, we're always looking to assess blame. Okay, where did it break down? Sometimes it's just a great play.
Here's Brad Wing now. On for his second punt. He'd take a repeat of his first. And the kick's away as he angles this one for the sideline. And where will this be spotted? The side judge says it went out just across midfield. Out is the Saints offense now as they get ready to take over here. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense, right?
There goes Mark Ingram. Touchdown, New Orleans. Mark Ingram with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Saints have taken the lead. And they're able to run it in. It started with a battle in the trenches. They won there, and they got in for 6 points.
And that's going to be a tough one for the defense to deal with. They've got to go to the bench now and figure out how are we going to slow down this running game, because on that particular play, they had no answer.
The Giants offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. Going right side here, and that's complete. That all the way in. Touchdown, New York. A big play there with his 13th touchdown of the year and 2nd of the game. And the Giants are going to jump back in front. The kicking team out there for the Giants as they will send this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. Back out onto the field now comes the New Orleans offense. And coming off a one-play drive that was so deflating for the defense, what's their mentality? How do they rally here and stop this offense?
Well, hopefully there's some determination that sets in, because they weren't ready to go on the last one. Give all the credit to the offensive guys for getting it done, but to allow a run of that length, that's just not being prepared. So now, are they determined? Are they ready to read their keys and make the proper plays?
And we'll see how determined they are.
First play of the drive, let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking, but the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
The motion man here, Fleener.
Watch him now, Barney. All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. You got that right there.
Ingram again. Yeah, he went backwards. And now the Giants will stop play as they take a timeout defensively. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. And on the outside, they're playing press coverage. And the Giants will go with 6 defensive backs here on third. They'll look to throw here. And he can't get away from the pressure. The Giants get there. And now the Giants, they get the officials' attention and take another timeout. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. Here's Archer. Here's Johnson. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
I know the toss play begins with the guy taking the snap and turn around and tossing it to the runner. But where the real intrigue is, can they seal the edge? Whether it's an offensive tackle or a tight end in the direction they want to run the football. If they do that, that's the result that you get, that type of a gain. If they don't, oftentimes it's not a very successful play.
off the play fake. He'll look to throw. Rush coming, and he's taken down. That winds up pushing him back 11 yards on the sack. And that'll bring up third. New Orleans adding some depth to the secondary. They've got 6 DBs out there now for third. He's going to fire one deep over the middle. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up fourth down.
On every offensive coordinator, every play caller sheet, they have about 5 or 6 plays per game that they call shot plays or big plays. And you don't get many opportunities to dial them up. And they just did. And they drop it with a great chance to make a big play. That's going to hurt.
Out onto the field comes New Orleans. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
Another pistol look here. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. And it's a short one here, complete to the tight end. It'll be a pickup of 10 yards. And it'll be second and very short. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime.
Here we go now. Green, gone.
Shipped together here from the D-line. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And that'll be incomplete with just 6 seconds left on the clock. And now inside the red zone, the offense will operate.
Check. Boom. Tight right.
On first down, he'll drop to throw. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And they will take over at the 26-yard line. And New York set to take the field. And from this spot in the field with the clock where it's at, you think we're just going to see a knee and that's it?
And I think in this situation, that's the proper play. But we do know there's some risk takers out there that may want to take one more shot before the clock runs out.
And he's going to be taken down here as that will lead us to the end of the first half of play. So we are at halftime here on Christmas Eve as we send you over to our headquarters in Orlando where we check in with Larry Ridley for our EA Sports Halftime Report. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Out come the Saints now. They'll go on offense first here to begin the third quarter. They're down here, but very much in this game. What's the tonality of a coach's talk when a game is within striking distance like this at intermission?
Typically, what they're doing is emphasizing the things that went well in the first half and wanting more of that. Sure, you've got to go over some of the errors and clean up some things because there's a reason you're down. But overall, I think they want to stay positive, stay up with this team. We're just starting the second half, and we've got the football. Let's go ahead and punch it in, and then we'll take it from there.
See how that recipe works. And the D-line pinching together must be expecting the run. It's brought in here by Willie Snead. They'll wind up getting 10 back as that sets them up for third down. Cool under pressure right there, escaping the pocket and finding what I think was not his primary target.
And some of these guys are just so comfortable getting outside of the pocket that they'll do it on purpose. It doesn't even need to be a breakdown. They move and they know it affects the defense because a lot of times you get lost in coverage in the secondary, and I think you're exactly right. Wasn't his primary target. Found a secondary guy who sprang open, probably because of his movement out of the pocket.
And he will have a first down as they get him to the ground at the 37.
I don't know about you, but that almost felt like old-time football there. 3rd and 2 is not necessarily just a running down anymore. A lot of times they want to throw the ball. They went back to the roots and powered forward and got the first down.
All right, here we go. 3-19.
Ingram again, a first down carry. No gain on the play there, 2nd down. So nothing there. I don't know that that's all in the back, though. You got to look at blocking there, don't you?
I would agree with that totally. At some point, they have to win at the point of attack. Instead, it was the defense getting it done again and holding them to no gain.
So they're still at the original line of scrimmage here. 2nd down and 10. They come up in an offset eye.
All right, here we go. Blue 90. Blue 90.
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. Throw complete right side to Cooks. And he is down deep into Giant territory. A big play there on the catch and run. 49 yards. So the offense has it 1st and 10. Looks like the defense in press coverage here. A 10th carry here for Mark Ingram. And he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
So if I'm an offensive coordinator, there's one thing that I know for sure. This is one of the top 5 teams in the NFL against the run. So when I look at my playlist, I'm probably thinking about throwing it.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. This will be caught just inside the 10. 8 yards on the completion, but now they face 3rd down. And that's one of his advantages of a passer, is it not? With his height, setting back there in the pocket, firing it over the middle, he can really see everything clearly.
It is, and I know that other quarterbacks get it done different ways, all right? You don't have to be his height to make a great play. But what he does is he takes away having to make those slide steps in the pocket to find angles to throw the ball through. He just throws right over the top of it because he can see everything, and sometimes that saves time and gets the ball to a receiver quicker.
Now back to throw. Buying time to his left. Under pressure now, and he's going to go down. Sacked back around the 8. Well, this has been a pretty sizable drive. They've had some success. Finally, the defensive coordinator found some success of his own.
I think he just simply said enough of that. Okay, they've moved the ball well. We need to force the issue from our end, and that's exactly what he did.
So the drive takes him inside the 10, but it ends with just 3.
And a nice job defensively to rise up and make sure they didn't get in.
And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the 2nd half. They'll try to get the offense going with Johnson. And he'll go down right at the 30-yard line. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Frustrating for a defense, energizing for an offense. Finding a way to create that type of yardage in your running game, that'll make the guys carrying the ball very, very happy.
They come up in an empty set. 4 wide receivers, 1 tight end. Looking to throw. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And the dreaded face mask penalty, that's going to cost him 15 yards.
And it's such a dangerous play. Body going one way, and then your head gets yanked back the other. 15 yards is the right call.
Following the penalty, it's Johnson. They'll get only a couple down to the 44.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held them to a gain of 2. And that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game.
2nd down following the run. They'll come out in the pistol. Out of the pistol, here's Johnson. And he is going to lose yardage here. They'll wind up losing 3. And now it's 3rd down. And the offense there, the O-line, everybody really on offense, they were just manhandled at the point of attack.
Yeah, you could pretty much call them all out, couldn't you? Almost by name, right? That was a very tough sequence for the offensive line. But how about that defensive front? Creating a new line of scrimmage and creating a lost yardage possibility.
So a 3rd and 10, and defensively, a dime look, 6 DBs. Back to throw here. Quick hitter here, it's complete. It'll be a gain of 8, but it'll also lead to a 4th down.
So much about this game is just understanding situations and then having to execute, isn't it? Guard the first down sticks. Don't let them get there. And they rallied and made the tackle.
And that one's not going to get there. Not enough juice. An ambitious effort, but it's well short. Back now here live in New Orleans. It's been a good one so far. Just a 2-point game here as we get set for quarter number 4. Start this drive in the air. And for a 3rd time tonight, he's intercepted. Picked off by Landon Collins. And they will set up shop at their own 41-yard line. Here's the Giant offense now making their way back out onto the field. And last time out, another missed field goal, so maybe their confidence wavering a little bit right now in the kicking game.
And I'm with you on that. I think at this stage, they'd love to not run him back out there in a tough situation. But let's face it, they may have to. So right now, the head coach is talking to the offense coordinator and saying, call this game like we're going to put it in the end zone. Let's try and take the field goal out of it.
And after the play on the ground, that brings up 2nd down here. He'll look to throw. Hits his target, the tight end, Will Tye. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down. They'll try and run for it. Here's Johnson. And nowhere really to go there. He'll take this up just shy of midfield. Just a 1-yard pickup there, and it'll be 4th down.
And, partner, when you run the ball on 3rd and 2, you're telling the whole world you've got nothing but confidence in your offensive line and your runner, and you expect to get it. But they were stuffed on that play. Only got 1 yard. Great job by the defensive front. The linebackers, everyone got involved to force a 4th down.
And this will depend on the spot as it sails out of bounds. And they'll say it sailed out at the 10-yard line. Out onto the field comes New Orleans. And last time wasn't pretty. 1 play and an interception. We'll see if they can do better.
I want to see if they want to go ahead and throw the ball again now on this drive after what happened on the last one. Throw it on the first play. Give the quarterback some confidence.
See what happens.
Here we go now. Blue 90. Blue 90. Watch it now, Barney. Let's go.
They come out here in the eye. The drive starts here with a carry by Ingram. And he'll take this one only up to about his 13-yard line. Give him 3 on 1st down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
We always like to talk about defense in terms of levels. 1st level defensive line, 2nd level linebackers, 3rd level defensive backs. On that run, that was what we call a 1st level run, and it was stopped by a 2nd level player.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Back down to Philly. Here we go.
They'll set up to throw. He's going to go for a big play downfield. So the long attempt falls innocently to the ground, and it brings up 3rd. Well, they haven't had a whole lot of success in the passing game here. Now, in the second half, he's thinking, I guess maybe just take a shot deep.
I think you're right. Almost looking for a bailout, isn't he? Can my receiver go up and make a big play for me? Can I create a penalty downfield, maybe pick up an interference call or get that yardage downfield? Anything trying to get going again, but you're right. He definitely took a shot.
And this is caught. He hits Landry. 8 yards there and a first down.
I don't care how many times we see it. I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass trick in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. First down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation.
They come out 5 wide, 3 of them to the right side. On first down, he'll drop to throw. And he couldn't hang on. Would have been their 4th pick of the game. Instead, second down.
Well, an incomplete pass certainly doesn't look like a good play. For the guy throwing it today, as many interceptions he's thrown, he's got to feel a sigh of relief that the ball actually hit the ground and didn't go in the other direction.
Green, 39. Green.
And they'll send the slot in motion left.
No. Check. Patriot.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. A nice pickup there, 10 yards, and it'll move the sticks.
Really good, solid run right there. And they did it from a 4-wide receiver set. If you're an offensive coordinator, they used to tell people, hey, we're going to throw the football. Now they use 4 receivers on the field to spread things out, give them more running lanes and more options. And also, it usually takes the bigger defenders off the field, makes the defense lighter and easier to run against.
Detroit. All right, here we go. Green.
This is Ingram on first and 10. And he'll get this up only to about the 33. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
But I think we know by now that every run is not going to be broken and get all the way to the end zone. But these short ones still have their value. You can still set up your play action and throw the football. You control the clock because you have the ball and they don't. And often the physicality sets the tempo for the game.
Possible run anticipation here as the D-line sandwiches together. They're going to look to throw. Looking middle, and that's complete. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44.
Obviously, this has not been a banner game throwing the football. So what you got to do? You got to kind of down focus, don't you think? Find the tight end, take some easier completions.
The interception last drive. There he hits the reliable target.
All right, here we go. 319.
Time for a break. We'll come back for the electrifying conclusion after this. Offense comes to the line now, 1st and 10. They come up in an offset eye. Now a handoff to Ingram, and he stopped immediately there. And now the Giants will stop play as they take a timeout defensively. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. So 2nd and 10 here.
Strong left. Hurry up, here we go. Four down.
Back to throw. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And he can't corral it. That would have wrapped it up if he'd been able to hold on. Instead, it brings up 3rd down.
Oh, man, that was close. The opportunity to change momentum, big play, right in his hands, unable to come down with it.
A sigh of relief, no doubt, on offense that that fell harmlessly to the ground. It's been a pretty long drive. This will be play number 9, and they need 10 yards out of it on 3rd.
All right, here we go.
They'll look to throw. Surveying the field. He's got his man. That's Landry. That one good for 16, and the drive will continue. Well, clearly one of his advantages as a passer is his height, sit back in the pocket, fired over the middle. That makes things tougher defensively, doesn't it?
It really does, because your goal is to move the quarterback off his initial spot when he gets his drop back completed. But when you have that type of height he can stay in there if he's willing to take the hits and just fire over the top, which saves him time and actually completes a play a little bit quicker than it normally does for a quarterback who has to slide and find open space to throw.
And now the Giants, they get the officials' attention and take another timeout. That'll leave them with just one remaining in this fourth quarter of play.
Partner, we know today's NFL is really built around the guy throwing the football. But these short runs, they still pay dividends because they can take their toll on a defense and they can add up as the game goes along. You control the clock, you control the ball, and that way you often control the game.
Another carry for the workhorse tonight, Ingram. And a short gain there down to the 37-yard line. Now hang on here, timeout called by the defense. That'll be their third and final stoppage here as we step aside. They need to get to the 29 if they want to pick up a first here on third down.
Now let's go. 3-19. Detroit.
They'll run it now out of the gun. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it's going to leave them with a fourth down. So the field goal unit is on the field as this is a big spot right here. This to take the lead here in the final minute. Now a whistle, and I think a penalty here for a delay. No, they're going to say timeout. They did get the timeout in time. It's just their first. They've got two more to use here in the final stages. And this one is right down Broadway. And the sideline celebrates as they have taken the lead in the final minute. All right, so time to reset here. It's a huge kick there, gives them the lead, but they've got to be careful that their celebrations aren't a little too premature.
You're exactly right about that because there still is time for the other guys to run a few plays and get into field goal position. So this defense is going to need to come up with one final stop if they're going to get out of here with a victory.
New York set to take the field. They only need a field goal. Obviously, the clock a huge factor. They'll be watching that. What do they need to do here, Charles?
Your sequence of plays has to get you out of bounds. Completions, get out of bounds, gain some yardage. Then when the clock hits 7 seconds or left, now you've got a decision. Are you in field goal range or is it Hail Mary time? Because from
And that's caught inside the 30. And he's across for the touchdown, and it's likely the game winner here in the closing stages.
So how many practices have we watched over time where the offense works on scoring late in the game and finding a way to win, as we just saw there?
Just saw it right there. Now can they preserve that advantage that they just got? Back to throw here. He's got it. And they will not go quietly as we are back to a two-score game. The kicking team out there for the Giants as they will send this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And with time a factor here, Lane, he'll just take a knee and they'll put it out to the 25. Out onto the field comes New Orleans. Critical condition here, obviously. Got to hope to get something quick right and then maybe take that shot deep.
And once they do take the big shot, you've got to worry on defense. Of course, no one getting behind the defense and make it an easy throw. But nowadays, it's not just the ball being tipped in the air and people in the end zone in a cluster. It's that guy that's short of the end zone who comes up and ends up making the play because he goes unguarded. So there's a lot to think about if you're playing defense in this situation.
We'll see if they can cover all their bases. He's going to let it fly. And that'll be incomplete with just 6 seconds left on the clock.
One thing I know from experience is that when the deep ball is thrown and you're the defender, you've got to fight that little bit of panic that emerges. You've got to play the ball really well. It's a 50-50 jump ball play. And guess what? They took a shot. How are you going to win it? And in this case, they managed to get it done.
Here we go now. Green, 39.
Back to throw. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And it's incomplete. So their final drive comes up empty. And with that, the ball game is over. Well, going into the final play of this game, they knew that they needed some type of a miracle there at the very end, but they couldn't get it done. However, we were treated to really a spectacular affair.
Even though they didn't finish it off, you're exactly right. They took us down to the last play. We're still, you were wondering, could it